Hi everybody, welcome back to the Warboss Fitch channel. Today we're going to go back to the Age of Fantasy. We're going to see where the Penitent Crusade in our campaign setting started out. We're going to see the god they prayed to, and the battle that summoned her, and how the crusade itself got started. Everything on the table is going to be from Beastarian Minis. Sit back, relax, and I hope you like it.
As the human empire grew and moved over the mountains, they set up villages in the desert. The early days were hard as the desert was unforgiving, but with effort and time, towns were set up and trade flourished back to the coasts. That all changed when the cult discovered the human settlements. After a grueling war, the humans were beaten back to their last strongholds, cut off from retreating back over the mountains. At their darkest hour, there was nothing left to do but pray. Their prayers were answered.
My dearest humanity, I have watched you suffer and wish to comfort you. Deliver unto me one of my wayward children, then I shall deliver you from evil.
The humans found their sacrifice.
We found this thing wandering the desert. I believe it is the child that the goddess spoke to us about. I shall sacrifice this creature to her to gain her blessing. With the enemy at the gates, there is little else we can do. We either win here or burn.
The cult's attack began. Two siege giants strode up to the palisade walls, and with a resounding crack, the walls came down. The giants and hordes of cultists swarm inside the gates. From his position, the paladin captain could see the cult forces pushing up the roads. The paladins formed a shield wall to hold back the enemy and give time for the ritual to finish. The other human forces launched themselves at the enemies. Initiates and fiends making themselves known in front of the bloody cultists. Crossbowmen in the guardhouse take aim at the barbarians, killing two with bolts to the neck, but their attention is elsewhere. The barbarians scrambled forward over the wreckage of the walls to get their hands on the initiates. Seeing them come, the initiates decide to do the best thing they could and charge. The swirling combat leaves both sides reduced, but neither willing to break. On the other flank, the siege giant strides forward towards the paladins, followed by a unit of grotesque cavalry, their inhuman master at the front. More cult warriors make it over the barricade. Bursting out from between buildings, the fiends fall on the warriors in a search for martyrdom. Their whip-coil arms covered in spiked chains, weights, piercing cudgels, and barbs. They wrap the warriors in an embrace, shredding both the warriors and themselves. At the end, a couple of fiends are still standing in the pile of viscera that was once a cult unit. A unit of manhunters moves to the wall and try to put down the fiends, but their shots go wide. The second giant moves forward in the streets to be met by a volley of fire from crossbows on the roof. Their bolts penetrate, but it is hard to tell if they damaged it because of all the blood already coating the giant's chest. More warriors and ogres enter the breached walls behind the giant, and an additional warrior unit arrives behind the manhunters.
There are too many of them. Goddess, I implore thee, we aren't going to be able to hold against this force. We need you.
Another volley of crossbows fly across the rooftops. This time they get the giant's attention. The beast lumbers down the street to the building that the crossbows are on. Its torso level with the roof. With one sweep of its massive arm, half of the crossbowmen are turned to paste. The rest retreat back from the edge. The other siege giant moves to engage the paladin shield wall. It is able to squish some of the paladins, but the shield wall holds. Combined attacks from the paladin unit and the captain force the brute back. Back at the gatehouse, crossbows standing in the middle of a bloody cult fire down at the squad of ogres, killing none of them, but getting their attention. The ogres decide to climb the tower. Soon the crossbows are met with the consequences of their actions. Half of them are smashed to paste. The rest have to choose to be killed by the ogres or attempt to flee off the side of the tower. Back at the wall, the manhunters finally give the fiends the martyrdom they desired. The initiates continue their fight with the barbarians. The melee is bloody, but in the end, the barbarians flee only to be cut down from behind. The initiates are then met with a fresh unit of warriors coming over the wall. The warriors make quick work of the remaining initiates, then head down the road chasing their siege giant. The warriors and cavalry are pushing down the streets from both directions, with more coming over the walls. This is the humans' darkest hour. In a blinding flash, the goddess appears and brings a band of angels with her. Her angels see the giant across the road attacking the crossbows, and they quickly fly to the rooftop. With their holy swords, they cut the giant down, its body falling into another building and then down into the street. The goddess looks upon the other giant. She opens her arms and light streams from her chest. The giant is overwhelmed in light and then simply ceases to be. She then pounces on the cavalry, and with a sweep of her blade, 3 of them are cut down, but the leader remains. The ogres, their business done, come down from the tower to continue their rampage, and the warriors push towards the paladins.
The goddess is with us. Forward!
The shield wall pushes forward, inspired by their summoned goddess. They collide with the cult warriors. The warriors surge back, but with the blessings bestowed upon them,
Feel your wounds heal. Her holy love will sustain you.
paladins are able to cut down their enemies. Then they take position, choking off the street with their shield wall. The next block over, cult warriors charge into the goddess. Their attacks turned away by her radiance. Then with a sweep of her mighty blade, she clears the streets of all the cultist forces. Back at the wall, the manhunters and the final unit of warriors scale the rubble and set their sights on the goddess. The manhunters fire on her just to be blocked in a flash of light. The goddess closes the distance. Stretching out her hand, she sends light at both the warriors and the manhunters. Their bodies turn to dust and are blown away with the wind. Her angels, seeing the ogres at the end of the street, fly over top of the paladins. Then their massive holy blades, each cutting an ogre in half.
Your most holy goddess, I prostrate myself in your presence. You have saved me and my people. We will follow you until the end of our lives. Then we will be with you forever.
Rise, my child. You have done well summoning me here. Now we will start the holy work of removing this filth from the world. Call a crusade against the cultists. We will fight them and their gods wherever dark places they may be hiding.
So that's how the Penitent Crusade got started. I hope you all enjoyed it. Last week I was on a podcast called All War Games All the Time, and if you want to check it out, I'm going to put the link in the description below. I hope you guys check them out, subscribe, and show them some love, because they do a whole lot of stuff with OPR, as well as some other games. Next week we're going to have a how to start playing one-page rules. We're going to do Eternal Dynasty first. We're going to go over the models, we're going to go over the units, the heroes, we're going to do a little painting, show all the upgrades, and then we're also going to have a battle. If you know anybody who wants to get into one-page rules, eventually we're going to go over most of the factions. Then sometime soon I'm going to sit down and film the Christmas game. I'm pretty sure you all are going to love it. So until next time, stay warm out there. Bye-bye.